I saw this running foul subject come up today, and I had my own thoughts about it. And I saw both of you guys were active in that same conversation, and I think there's a whole bunch of opinions out there, and you guys are both, I think, the extremely qualified people to talk about it. So I think this is a really cool bunch of people to talk about it.
We need to discuss for the good of the sport, just like what is best. In fact, I came to a conclusion about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say the solution in conclusion already at the beginning of the conversation. So
it's going to be a really short video otherwise.
Yeah, I think that we need to discuss first minuses and pluses. What is good about the running foul system and what is not. So I was just trying to say that I mean, many things we can talk. I mean, we don't need to be like holding aside, but we can be objective about and discuss. Just no need like a blind fan of running foul or blind fan of the other rule.
Yeah, I'll set the scene for everyone who's watching. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've got two very qualified guests here at the moment. We've got Engin Terzi, who's...
It's not live, right?
No, it's not live, but recorded. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can see we've got two very qualified experts on the sport of arm wrestling. Engin Terzi, one of the legends of the sport, been arm wrestling, as Neil Pickup would say it, for 150 years.
57.
How many?
57.
57 years?
Yeah, you said 157
years.
Yeah, come on.
And then we have Zilf Adli, who is the head referee of the PAL, president of the Malaysian Arm Wrestling Federation, and again, one of the most foremost experts in refereeing in the world of arm wrestling. So couldn't get two more better opinions on this. So if you're wondering what are we talking about when it comes to the running foul, we're talking about the rulings on elbow fouls. There are variations between a running foul. And to put it simply, a running foul means if your elbow causes a foul, that the match continues and a restart would only occur if you successfully win the match, as opposed to a non-running foul just being if you elbow foul, the match stops and we restart. That's in a very basic sense. And what I will do before we discuss it, I'm going to quickly screen share with you guys an example of a foul, and it's a really good it's a good example because it shows kind of the extreme nature of how it can.
Yeah, but it doesn't show everything. It just shows one of the cases. Yeah,
one of the cases. So I'll just bring that one up for you guys in a moment. Let's have a look at it. All right, so here we have left of screen will be the gentleman who will elbow foul. This is Patrick Berg and Jordan Davis at the Zloty Tour 2019. So you can see the deliberate foul from Patrick Berg was to gain him a restart. We'll have a look at it one more time. There we go.
So question, if this was a running foul, what would be the call? Continue?
I think it would have been continue, but it would have been, and I think Jordan would have gone on to kind of like chase him off the side of the table.
Okay, just 1 second. If the guy who lifted his elbow, just imagine he lifted like 5 centimeters more and then bring him here, and then would it be a good thing?
No.
Yeah?
No.
So my point. Yeah. I mean, if the guy, okay, I will come to conclusion already. So I think that the solution is, do you ever follow football, but the football that we call in Europe, or no?
Soccer, football, soccer.
Yeah, you follow or no?
Not closely, but enough.
I mean, just like this, for example, you did a foul in the line that it's a penalty area, and then you did the foul. It is a penalty, but you see that the guy is about to score. You don't give the penalty, but he makes the score, and then so you don't stop it. You understand?
Yeah.
But as long as advantage continues, so what I am just saying. But if an advantage lost, then you call it foul.
Yeah.
So what I am just saying, I think the solution is there. If the guy is going and winning, and if foul, just continue. Don't stop the match. But if the guy is winning and the guy the foul, and then this guy lost the advantage because of the other guy's foul,
Mhm.
then no need to make it longer. Do you understand my point?
I do, but also, for instance, Engin,
Yeah.
on the other side of the coin there, do you think
Yeah.
that match, do you think under any circumstance, Patrick, the person in Patrick's position, should have deserved a restart, given that he did that because he could feel he was about to lose, to do that extreme elbow foul?
Okay, then what should be the call?
For me, my solution is we need to add
if
a
it is at the
professional foul.
center of the table,
I would
and
add
he
the term professional
intentionally
foul.
fouled.
So
What's that?
I would add a new term being professional foul. So what Patrick did there, for instance, I would class as a professional foul, which would just be a loss. You only get one professional foul, and if you do that, you're out.
As again, I will come back to the example with the football. That there used to be a call something. I think maybe in even basketball too, but for football, I think for sure that's called Yugoslav foul. That when the guy is going about to make a scoring, and then you just bring the guy down. You either get yellow card or red card, but you stop the attack. You stop the attack. But what I'm just saying, but if the guys are still about to score, you still don't stop. But when the advantage is lost, then you stop the match. And so what I'm just saying, if you go like that, if you say that the guy did like this, and then he should just continue the match because he is losing, then if you do this, I'm sure that next time people will not live this much, they will even live more and then gain the advantage, and then the guy will be even hurt. The guy who has the advantage to win it will get even hurt. You know what I mean? Because they will extremely the foul because you run in the foul.
Travis Bajan did that to Michael Todd in WAL 2017. It was terrible. But Zil, I'd love to hear your opinion. Zil, as I said, ladies and gents, is the head referee of the PAL, which that event, that footage that we just saw the event from was part of. Zil, what's your opinion on elbow fouls, running fouls, everything?
Okay. Originally, that the rule should be like, there should be a fall and then fall in losing position that will, contribute to a loss. So in that particular case, the Patrick case, he did a fall, but not in a losing position. So I understand. Okay, I believe I was there, and you guys made a complaint, and then this is not. This is not a new thing. It happened a lot, not just in IFA, in WAF, in Zloty, everywhere, and a lot of competition. Okay, I also know and understand the rules for the running fall because I studied it. From Amwas, and then the match in Dubai, King of the Table, and also for the WAL. Okay, the thing that I see, okay, the explanation from Engin Terzi, okay, see that from the Patrick side, Patrick perspective. So from his side, there's a lot of option that he can do in that situation, leading to a fall. First of all, whether he get a fall and restart, or he will drag his elbow as back as possible also to get a fall. Like a lot of people, like when they try to get away from that wrist, they will drag until they get a fall. It also will be a restart. Or in a running fall situation, what Patrick can do, in what I see, what I understand from running fall perspective, is that he can just lift his elbow, climbing up as high as possible to get his position, just to get a restart. And not restart, basically just to pin Jordan and get a restart. It's a simple. I think it's a similar thing.
What the problem is? What the problem is? Then it's gonna make the things even worse for the guy who had the advantage. Now he lost his hand while he was winning. The other guy fell. He took his hand, and he can even wait and tire him, exhaust him. The restart, he's tired, and he will again hit him. He took his hand again. You know what I mean? So if you do like this, people will. I
agree totally. We can't let that person fouling gain something in a fatigue sense.
This is my point.
Do you believe, Zil, in the professional foul, that if you saw someone do that, you could just say professional foul, it's a loss. There's no second chance. It's just bang.
But where is the example of with any other sport?
It's like in rugby, like you said,
when you are boxing, you have a listen. You have a line here, right, on your belly when you are boxing. If you hit once there, probably they will not directly disqualify you. or you do something. I mean, there should be, the foul is for that, you know, sometimes. There is
Well,
sometimes the fouls,
the
listen, in all of the sports, you go basketball, you go football, you will see intentional fouls everywhere.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
called tactical foul.
Yes.
Everywhere. You can
Yes.
just like foul to happen by natural way. Not always. Just go any sport. Do you follow other sports?
I
You
do.
will
I
see
can
that,
think
you
of
know.
one sport where there's no second chances, and that's 100-meter sprint. If you go early in the 100-meter sprint, you're out because you can't be. There's no second chances for putting off your other sprinters. But I do
Yeah.
agree that in most sports, in rugby league, if you do a intentional foul that prevents a scoring opportunity, you get sent off. So you're off the field for 10 minutes.
But do you know in when you do foul in a 100-meter, you are running with like altogether 8 people at the same time. You can't give everyone 2 chances to foul, you know, while there's 8 people there. You understand? So it's just not correct
Yes.
example,
But
you know. It's not like combat sport, you know,
you think,
one-on-one.
Engin, do you think the professional foul is too harsh? Is that what you're saying? So do you think if
No, I'm not saying it, but I mean, I don't know. I see that, you know, there is something called, I mean, tactical foul has always been, you know. But if you, I don't know, maybe you are right. Maybe you are right. Maybe, but then there will be some. I mean, the guy will do it in a different way. He will just
be
pull
subtle.
his
It'll be
elbow,
subtle.
and his elbow will get out this much out. He will just say, "I just did rowing. It's not intentional." You know, but he will get the same result. There will be so much confusion.
It would,
The clear thing,
it would always be subjective, and it is difficult because it's always subjective. The referees have got to make a call, but the threat of a professional foul that eliminates you in one go would certainly eliminate these fouls. It might not eliminate drags off the back a little by an inch.
Yeah,
and a
but
half.
your elbow is getting this much out. Trust me, is almost the same advantage
Yeah.
of the. You will just
Yeah,
use it.
I agree.
Your elbow here. The guy will press. It will never go anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Ryan and
Zil,
Engin.
tell us your thoughts, Zil.
Okay, so basically, Ryan, the professional foul that you are referring, meaning to say that this foul should be given that result to a loss because you know that you will lose. In this sense, we have it. We have it in IFA or WAF, it doesn't matter, or PL. We call it loss in a losing position. When you have a fall in a losing position, because definitely you will lose. See,
don't you agree that Patrick in that example, he knew that he was going to lose if he kept his elbow on the pad in that instance?
Yeah, he was winning. The other guy was winning. Yeah, that's for sure. But what Deal is talking about, that is proven things. But you know, when you guess, yeah, of course.
The thing is, if Patrick aware that there's a professional foul, for example, that you lost your wrist and you try to point into your loss. In Patrick's case, he will drag his elbow back as much as possible, do anything to escape that situation, even do anything. But it will result to a fall eventually. But when you know that you already almost get a pin, you almost get, I mean your wrist is almost at a pin pad. Then normally you try to escape in that way. We know that you're going to lose. You try to get a fall because you know you're going to lose. That in your definition, professional loss is already there. We call it fall in a losing position, and so does you loss.
So what defines, for everyone who doesn't know, Zil, can you give us a clear definition of where does the losing position begin?
Two-thirds from.
Okay, if there is for example, this is 90 degrees. Okay, so this is 45. 2/3 means 30 degree or 60 degrees from the neutral angle, or 30 degrees from the pin pad.
Okay.
So it's 2/3.
No worries.
Yeah, it's like from the neutral position to the pin pad. If you divide to 3 portion, if you pass the first 2 portion and you are in the last one, then you foul, you lose the match. But just Ryan, we arm wrestle. You know that by just raising your elbow quickly, just 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters, you can take somebody's wrist because you will be going up and then taking. You can do that so quickly. It will not even look so intentional because it can happen naturally as well. You can take the guy's wrist and then it says that, okay, it's running foul. And then you already took the guy's wrist. I mean, then this is what I'm saying, that when the advantage is like the guy is winning, it's going. If he can win, just let it go. If the guy wants to still win. But what I'm just saying, that if the position is in the disadvantage of the guy, not the one who fouled, but the other, I mean,
Yep.
you know the other one. Yeah.
Mm.
So then you can stop this because the other guy gain advantage. No need to
agree,
make them pull
yes.
1 minute, 2 minutes when they actually
Yeah.
something
But
unfair
but
happened. They gain the advantage.
yeah.
You
The
let
good
them
thing,
pull.
the good
It's
thing
because
is though,
the spectator wants to pull. And what about the athlete? You know, why would
Yeah.
he lift his elbow 2 centimeters
Well-
up, take my wrist, and then why do I need to pull here 2 minutes? You know, okay,
I
I can
agree
let it
though.
go,
I agree
but I
though.
need to
But
pull
Engin,
myself.
as you said, the person who didn't foul can choose to just let it go, if they want. They can choose. Like if I hear running
Yeah,
foul,
but just because they let it go, like when Matt Mask wanted to let it go, did Devon let him go?
yeah, it's true.
No, no. What I'm
Yeah.
just saying, and you don't think that just because you don't apply any pressure, the guy will be applying pressure. He can still exhaust you and hold you there.
In
And then
in
the question is, what happens? What happens when one guy fouls, and then running foul goes, and then when the other guy fouls as well, what happens there? I don't know that because I never put in that rule.
Two running fouls is the referees will stop the match and restart. So
I thought
No,
it's 3, Ryan.
no.
Ryan.
Yes, Bill.
I thought it's 3.
well,
For
three running. That's if it's on the same person. But if I running foul, then my opponent running fouls in the same pool, the referee will stop the match and restart.
Okay. From referee perspective, okay. Now I give explanation from referee perspective and not from athlete. You see, there's a lot of referees, for example, in competition like World Championship or Open Championship. There's a lot of referee with different level.
Hmm.
Do you think? Okay, I'm saying that people like Bill Collins, a very good referee, they can memorize, who's got the first fall, second fall, and then when they get to the second fall, they will restart and back. Do you think, for example, 8 tables simultaneously running, people can memorize which one get the first fall, and then after that neutralize, restart, they already get 1 or 2 falls. So this is so confusing. Even I tried to memorize
It's
myself.
confusion. Yes, in a tournament, it's confusion. But in a single super match, maybe you can remember one match.
It's
everything.
possible. Yeah.
It's. I think one thing that all of this conversation does highlight is that athletes will always, no matter what rule sets you give them, as you said, Engin, intentionally fail to create an opportunity for themselves. If they feel the need to, if they feel without that they're going to lose, they're going to do it. Everyone will push boundaries. I guess what the goal is there a magical set of rules out there? And I don't believe that we've got it perfect yet, but is there a magical set of rules out there that limits how much an athlete can take an advantage of, and yet still keeps the fabric of the sport looking the way we want it to?
In fact, your idea wasn't bad about the professional foul. Like it's sometimes obvious that like if your elbow is lifted like this, I understand. If you keep your elbow in the air, I mean, there's no excuse for that. You can never say that. No, it wasn't intentional. You can never say. So what I am just saying that maybe you are right. Maybe when the guy is winning and the advantage still continues, he's winning. Maybe other guy fouls, still continue because the guy is gonna win. Just because the other guy fouled, maybe, yeah. But when the other guy gains advantage by even extreming, that way, then maybe that can be a professional foul and maybe a direct loss. Yeah, I mean, just imagine you choose a technique and it's not working, and then you just want to restart to try something else. Maybe we should consider this part of the game as well, right? Maybe we shouldn't really force it. Maybe we should just beat the guy anyways.
I will admit,
even in a restart, maybe beat him again.
I will hand on heart admit that I have personally felt my wrist go and lifted my elbow and got a restart. I've done it. So I'm not blaming, I'm certainly not attacking Patrick Berg or any of the athletes. It's for me, I look at this as a conversation that's great to have, potentially with the goal of just making the sport better long term. And not that it's bad, but I look at it from, I want to find that perfect balance of keeping it pure, but also keeping it entertaining. I don't like as a fan when a fan sees something like that happens, they go, what the hell was that? I don't like that. So
yeah, but do they like the other guy is lifting his elbow and doing like this, and the match continues another minute? Listen. We are not circus. You understand? We need to, first of all, do you realize that 3 of us from the beginning of the conversation, we are trying to discuss what is fair, what is not fair. You understand? We are trying to find a fair solution. But when the guy comes, oh, I don't like this because it doesn't entertain me. You understand? I mean, sorry, maybe from his perspective, yes. But from the perspective of the athletes, that is not the case.
Sure.
We are not clowns. We are not there to entertain people, you know, like this. We, first of all, what we care is the athletes train and they want a fair game. So this is what should be discussed first. I mean, we are not going to, I mean, why would two athletes, when they say that it is good for the entertainment, and then your argument, when I say that I took the advantage and you said that other guy can let it go and then restart because they both intentional foul. So where is his entertainment now in the running foul system? It's gone, right? It's gone. So the running foul has nothing to do with the entertainment if other guy is smart enough, you know, to let it go. So it will be again, and then he will also the same thing, you know, for the waffles. He says, oh, bullshit, you know, and then he will say for the running foul, bullshit, because the other guy also realized that, you know, he lost advantage. He also lifted his elbow.
And that's it. I'd actually like to talk about the rigid rules style that we're used to, whether it be WAF or Zloty or one of those organizations where sometimes the elbow fouls are so small that we don't to the naked eye see them. And I've seen many times athletes, with both athletes looking at the ref like terrified, was it me or was it him? The athletes
they don't realize.
They don't even know who's fouled.
I love to comment about that.
I personally struggle with that. Zil, this is your domain in that respect.
Okay, I always see that situation where technically sometimes even the referee cannot see because the foul is too small.
Yeah.
It's not just small. It's we call it micro foul. The thing is, it's not just us that cannot see. It's even the spectator or the video cannot see it. And sometimes referee miss it. So I always the practice that I always talk to the referee is that there should be a level of how do you call that? We need to understand that athletes should pull no matter what. There is a certain level of fall that we should call, and there is a very small fall that it almost negligible. Where number one, it will not give any advantage to any athletes. Number two, it is almost invisible to the eye or to the spectator. And then number three, this particular fall, sometimes because of it ruined the very long game that's running. You know, sometimes, you know, like for example, I can give an example where Batkili Oniani versus Bretts. They already pull very long in the hook, and then suddenly because of that minor fault, it has to be restarted. And then these two athletes just gas out before final. It happened a lot of times.
Yeah.
So and sometimes not even the referee can see it, but probably some young, very new referee, they tend to, you know, like they want to see they want to find the fault because it's like an achievement. But I always tell that if it's something that we can neglect, which is not going to give any benefit to the both of the athlete, neither of the athletes, it's negligible. But you need to understand, sometimes the team want to win so much that they are looking at it, but some fall cannot be seen at all, even from the camera, because it is too small.
Yeah.
Another reason is because of the elbow pad is sometimes it's hard. The elbow pad is hard, so when you jump,
that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
When you
The
jump,
elbow
you
pad
can
needs to be making soften to
Yes.
minimize the mistake. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm discussing with the team, that we need to do something about the elbow pad, because the harder the elbow pad, a slight movement will make the fall very visible.
Yeah.
So that's not helping. That's actually very bad for the athlete, actually.
Yeah.
I agree. And when I know we talked about entertainment before, Engin, and it was kind of, you made the point that it wasn't real. I actually think that in this circumstance, as Zil mentioned there about the microfoul, I think there's been many great matches that have been so disappointingly ended on a microfoul, when there were classic matches, classic battle where both guys dying on a sword with their last effort, to then have one of them microfoul it's truly disappointing as a
right. The problem is there is no rule or that is not written. I mean, the rule should be written. And then when you write a rule, you need to define, how much. And then the guy will say, it was 1 millimeter. No, it was 2 millimeter. No, it was only 1 millimeter. It was 2 millimeter. Rule says 1 millimeter is okay. And then I did only 1 millimeter. The referee will say, no, I think I saw 2 millimeters. Like we have
I agree. It will always be
like
pushed.
automatically. Yeah, and then he will go to 3 millimeter. No, it wasn't 3. So that is the problem is they will just say whenever you see, then give it. But I'm telling you, in a professional level, I agree with you. In a professional level, but the rule needs to be talked in a super match before the event to both athletes. And then there should be a fair referee that will be,
I know from my own personal
both athletes. But whenever you go to the world level, it is not very easy to say that you didn't call this one, you call me, but yours was a little bit bigger than mine was bigger than that one. Trust me, like it goes there. So what we can do to make the elbow pads softer, so that because you will be burying your elbow 3 millimeter or 2 millimeter in. So whenever it jumps, it will only stretch the pad. It will not look like it's living. But once
I agree.
you still cut the connection, then it's obvious that you're lifting, not it's jumping. You understand what I'm saying? So
I do agree with you that if rigid rules arm wrestling is not going to adopt a running foul, then the softer pads is certainly a potential solution to it. Zil, are you at all tempted to say to Igor and other referees, hey, why don't we just put in a running foul for those micro ones at least, or something? I don't know. Like, are you tempted?
We've been in discussion about this, like especially microfall. I disagree, and the team also disagree that running microfall sometimes destroy the quality of the games. A very good match, need to be stopped because of that microfall. From my side, I openly say that I always ignore microfall. Sometimes I see it, so I ignore because for me, that particular fall will not give advantage to athletes and also not visible to the audience. So why should I stop it just because I see it, because I'm close to the table and people enjoy, people want to see a pin. I understand, not just an referee, I'm also an athlete myself. I don't want to
So you were already arguing, right? So you already are personally essentially doing running fouls on those.
Not just me, Leonard as well. Leonard Harkless.
No. You're mistaken, right? He's not talking about running foul.
No, but he's silently
ignoring a foul.
He's doing it in his head.
You say running foul. For running foul, you give the foul, but you continue.
Yes,
he doesn't say running foul. He says there's a
I'm talking
foul,
about
but he doesn't call it.
He's letting it slide. He's letting it slide.
Yeah.
I'm talking about microfall. Okay, Leonard, we had a discussion before with Leonard about developing a type of elbow pad where they have like an edge, like an elbow pad, but they have like an edge about 2 or 3 millimeter height. Like, the old kind of elbow pad which is round and they have like an island there. So this type of elbow pad is square, but they have like an edge about 3 millimeter height. So his idea is that when there is an elbow fall happen very micro, since we are looking at the level of the elbow pad, we will see it because of that particular like a wall there, 3 millimeter wall. So this is Leonard's idea that we probably will test later on, because in my opinion and everybody's opinion as well, that if let's say there's an elbow fall, sometimes it's not most of the time, I'm not saying sometimes, most of the time the athletes, accidentally did that very small because they're shivering, they are intense. So it is not because of movement try to take advantage. So this kind of thing happens. So say that if we have this particular edge about 2 or 3 millimeter, or for example, half centimeter height, when they do it, we will not see it unless they.
You need to be perfectly at the level. Perfectly. You just look at a little bit from above, you will still see it. So, you need to be perfect every match for every competitor. You make one mistake, in one match you will call it, other match you are not going to call it, just because you are 2 centimeters above. Just 2 centimeters above, you will see the foul. Here, you will not see the foul. One match, you will not see it. Next match, you will see it.
Again, normally, okay, see, for example, the elbow pad is red in color. if we look it from the top side, you will not. It's very hard to see whether it's jumping or not. But if you are parallel, you will see the
I'm
light
talking
from the
about
other
not
side.
from the high like this. I'm talking about even 3 cm higher than level. You will still see that. I'm just saying. So I mean, I'm not saying like look at from the top this way, you know. But just I will come back to the subject about the intentional foul. Just remember Dave and Levan pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then do you remember the elbow foul that they've got because his
Mhm.
elbow get out from there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, before I tell my opinion about something, I'm gonna ask if your elbow is out, you got running foul. How long can you stay there to lose the match? Or you can stay forever.
That is a contentious
What's-
question. I know WAL's answer with that was you were given a count of 3 to return.
3.
on-
Oh, okay.
3.
Yeah. Okay. 30
Yeah,
seconds.
that was
yeah.
that
if
was
you stay
WAL,
3
but
seconds in there,
but even that's debatable.
foul
Just
position,
to stay off
good.
for 3 is still going to put a lot of fatigue on.
Yep.
Yeah. What I'm just saying that when Dave is putting his elbow out, and then when Levan is trying to beat, it really puts so much pressure on the hand or the opposite guy. But if it's 3 seconds, not too bad. But if you just keep him there 20 seconds, this guy's hand will be,
Yeah.
exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there are a lot of factors that go into trying to get this right. For me, I when I think about it all, I've pulled in the WAL, I've pulled in Zloty, and I've pulled in kind of what would be a halfway point where Australia's arm wrestling is modeled on WAF, but it's with kind of inexperienced referees, so it's not as tight. I honestly, from the athlete's perspective, I think the same people will always rise to the top. I don't think this is really that consequential in terms of determining who the winners are at the end of the day. But I know I do hate the idea. Like when I came to Zloty, I was nervous that I was going to go all the way there and foul out. I remember that feeling, thinking, oh shit, if I go all the way here and foul out, it'll be really bad. So I don't know. I feel the dial needs to come some way to halfway between the two. I like that, Zil, you guys are talking about ways of minimizing microfouls, and I certainly don't want to go to the WAL as the standard. That's too wild. But somewhere in between, I feel like there's a perfect zone. What do you?
For professional, yes. For professional, yes. But for amateur, I think it needs to be more strict. But still, you can make the elbow pad softer to minimize the foul. But for the professional, I think that if I organize event here in January, John and Haji Murat, I will talk with referees. I'm not gonna say don't call this guy, but call this guy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, maybe I will ref. I don't know.
Let this
I
match
will
happen.
just,
Let this match
just like
happen.
if you're not in position, but I will talk before the event to both guys. Yeah, because Haji is more used to strict events. John is used to both of them. While and the pile, he pull everywhere. So, but I will talk with them, and if not serious advantage gain or something, just let them pull. I'm not talking about running foul. I'm talking about a foul that is not,
Inconsequential.
with advantage gain. Yeah.
Zil, you got any final thoughts on this one before we wrap this one up?
For me, most important thing is, like I said, if you can make adjustment on the pad to be even softer, that can, minimize the microfoul call a lot. And also, if you're aware that most of the microfoul call is made from a young or junior referee, most of the senior or master referee, they know how to adapt on the situation to make it even more fun, even more interesting, rather than just calling a foul, stopping a match where people are shouting, cheering. For example, in a battle hook match, I can give example like Haji Murat and Todzilla doing a very good hook match, and we saw a very microfoul. Should we call it? Let them pull, because if they restart, it's too much of a fatigue. The round, by the time of round 4 and round 5, they are done, completely done, finished. So that is my opinion on this part, where in between, adjustment of the elbow pad to be a bit softer, and the way you deal with the microfoul.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Leave us a comment in the YouTube section below. As you can see, this is a genuinely interesting subject for the world of arm wrestling. Some great opinions there from Engen and from Zil. Thank you very much, gentlemen, on that. I think my prediction is that the comment section of this video is going to have some very long written responses, because everyone has a big opinion on this, and it's something that we want to get right, isn't it, at the end of the day?
I mean, it depends on from which perspective they are looking at. Yeah. Depends, you know, from the fan perspective, it may be different, you know, it may be different. But from my perspective,
I like the division of the professional sense, as you said, certainly professional sense going down this path. Amateur sense, definitely sticking with rigid rules to learn the fundamentals and not go. The last thing we want to see is novices trying to do giant running foul, elbow fouls, terrible stuff. But anyway, gents, we'll wrap this one up there. We could probably talk all night on this, to be honest. But thank you so much for sharing your expertise on this. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, guys, see ya.
bye-bye.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's a man!